Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. After one full day of ownership of the Swatch Scuba collaboration with Blancpain, the 50 Fathoms à la Swatch, I can already reflect a little bit about how I feel about the watch, how people comment about the watch, what I like about it. And as you can see, I've already changed the strap to just cool down a bit the look. I don't think it's really the right strap. My wife looked at me weird. She thought I was wearing a kid's watch. Nothing wrong with the original strap. It really is perfectly matched to it. But I just wanted to try something else. We'll talk a bit more about the strap situation in a minute. This watch really, if you see the comments to my first video, inspires very opposite type of reaction. Some people love it, dig it, others absolutely hate it and really react a bit weirdly, thinking about the original 50 Fathoms. So we can talk about that as well. But I want to start with the looks. What really strikes me with the watch is the beautiful contrasts of the and sorry, I'm using artificial light. It's getting as you can see, a bit dark right now in Hong Kong. The beautiful contrasts of this on the sunburst dial. It fades kind of like to the black, and they didn't have to do that, but it did it. And the contrast of the indices and the hands on it, all the little details, the fine prints. I also like, for example, the little tip, black tip painted at the end of the second hand. Again, a cute little detail that didn't have to do. And most importantly, well, the shape of the hands is great, but I think most importantly, they nail the signature look of the 50 Fathoms. The reason why people might want to go there instead of the Rolex Submariner or Sea Dweller, it is that bezel. They really nail the dimension, the visuals on it, the glossiness of the bezel. And as I said yesterday, the click, you could play with it all day. It's easy and yet sturdy, good sound. They absolutely nailed this. And the Lume, I was really surprised. It lasted all night. Let me use my UV. So obviously, like any Lume, super impressive when you put the UV light to it. Then obviously, like all the Lumes, fades a little bit. But after that, it really stayed strong all night up until 4 or 5 in the morning. No problem to read the time, including on the bezel. I would say as good, if not a bit better than my Seamaster Omega. Really a beautiful Lume. And as you can see, the hands is where you have the most application of Lume, so they're a bit more bright than the rest. But otherwise, the indices and the bezel, I think, shine the same way. It's really easy to read the time, and you can play with the bezel. So looks wise, fantastic. Now people say, and people like to go overboard with this, it's a piece of plastic junk. Well, it's 2/3 ceramic, and I don't hear anybody complaining about 100,000 Hong Kong dollar or 12,000 US dollar Blancpain 50 Fathoms in ceramic, or any other watch in ceramic, which feels like plastic. It's very light. It's very resistant to scratches. It's a strange feel. Some people hate the feel, but you're not going to complain about the quality of it. So this is 2/3 ceramic, 1/3 of biomaterial. Now the whole greenwashing in watches, I don't buy into it, especially when you put a movement that cannot be serviced, which is the whole point of watchmaking, is to be able to keep these things running potentially forever if you can service them long enough. Doesn't mean that you have to throw it away in the ocean, but I don't think the watch is going to save the ocean. If they say that 1/3 of all the money they make on every sale is going to go to ocean conservation, yeah, that's a different thing. But so the bio name Bioceramic, I don't really buy into the bio bit of it, but I think it is a lot more than what people would think it is. And to me, it doesn't bother me at all to have a light watch. I love to have finally a light diver, because it is a real diver. 91 meters is just, it's going to be enough. 50 fathoms technically. And yeah, the price point, at that price point, you can indeed buy a steel diver from Seiko, a true ISO certified diver. You can get maybe a Steinhardt and quite a multitude of other entry level divers, but professional instruments. So it has a fair competition, but I don't see people queuing outside the Seiko shop when another one is being released, while the queues here were strong. I think now no problem to walk into the Swatch shop and you might be lucky to pick one up. But it generated a lot of interest from non-watch people, because there's a whole buzz, so the whole scalper scene moves in. I don't know who would be mad enough. Well, I think Bruce Williams did, to pay a premium, but he lives far away from the shops. I can understand it would cost more in fuel just to go there. But for me, easy to get here a couple of weeks after the release. And I've had entry-level divers in steel, and I just enjoy this. Now, some guy was commenting that you have to earn your Blancpain 50 Fathoms, work for it. Well, hold on, buddy. It's just a watch. It's just a plastic watch. The thing is, the 50 Fathoms, I love the looks, but it's never been the aspirational watch for me. I've chosen to go a different way. I've gone for the Sea Dweller 116600, the 40 millimeter discontinued Sea Dweller. I love it, which is already a very luxurious piece, and the Blancpain 50 Fathoms on top of it will have an amazingly finished movement. But I've gone Rolex. I'm not gonna spend another 12 grand, 15 grand, don't know how much they cost on the 50 Fathom. Doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the looks, and I love to be able to have a taste of it. And I'm sure they're gonna come up with other colors. When they do a black one, it will be extremely popular. I think the blue one is the most conservative of the current collection, the gray one as well. I've gone for something a bit flashy, which also is great for the people who do have a 50 Fathoms and want to have something fun, right? A different color of their favorite watch, but that doesn't cost too much money. And it is well made and faithful to the look of the original. Also, people who consider maybe buying a Blancpain 50 Fathoms but want to see a bit how they get on with the look every day on the wrist. I think this is also a great alternative, a great option for them to test drive, if you will, with a watch that's well made by the same group. So that's what I think. So yeah, don't get angry about this. As I always say, would you prefer that they didn't make it? I think it's marketing genius, and well, they've sold already a million of these or more of the MoonSwatch. And when the MoonSwatch came out, I thought, well, I love Swatch. I've had Swatches since I was a kid, and I still buy them regularly. I actually don't enjoy wearing them. I think the way the sort of plastic strap angles like this is very uncomfortable. So to me, this was the best watch I had ever had. This MoonSwatch. I got 3 of them. Don't really wear them too much because it's a bit overplayed. People know them so much. I kind of feel silly being proud of my MoonSwatch, but hopefully there will come a time when we can really enjoy them past the whole craze, and it will be cool again to wear them. But I enjoy them, and they are in my son's drawer for his little mini collection. But now that we have one with a automatic movement, System 51 movement, well, to me, this is the best watch ever made by Swatch. And that in itself is an amazing event that should be rejoiced and over and welcomed. So speaking of the movement, thanks to everyone who pointed out that this one has to be wound counterclockwise, which is very unusual, but I suppose if they had to sacrifice to the tradition of making it wind clockwise, it would be called the System 55. They would have had to add a couple of extra gears. Well, if you wear it every day, you don't really need to wind it. It's not difficult to wind down, actually. I've never wound down any watch. Most of them, they're all clockwise, but counterclockwise is fine. It doesn't have that nice tick that you get when you wind clockwise. I'm not gonna do it because I don't like to unwind a barrel. But it's still pretty smooth, a bit more grimy type of feeling. In terms of the accuracy, so far, spot on, no problem. After a day, no issue. As I said, the movement apparently cannot be serviced, so bit of a shame, but really good looking movement. The rotor is slightly noisy. You notice maybe if you tap on your own shoulder, not noisier than any $50,000 Patek, since they've moved to those ball bearing for the rotors. Same thing for the Jaeger-LeCoultre. Rolex is maybe slightly more quiet, but it's not something that's gonna bother you. And actually, I was sleeping with the watch on my wrist, and loved having the time at night. I tend to wake up quite often, so great to have the time. Now let's talk about the strap situation. I've tried it on this leather strap, which is probably sacrilege, of course, on a dive watch, but I'm not really gonna dive today, although the weather, it was very rainy. I just put this on because it's the only one I can put on without removing these spring bars, which are not spring bars actually. They're held with the tiny hex screws, and I have a similar system on my Zin watches for the bracelet. So I have the tools for that, but this is tinier, so I don't have any key to open this. And I suppose that you have to have two. You hold one while you turn the other one, and it will unscrew. So I can't unscrew. I couldn't try any of my multitude of straps. By the way, it's 22 millimeters. So I can't use, unfortunately, the silk cloth straps that Artem straps. They send it to me for free, so I'm doing some promotion for them. The great Artem straps. They send me 20 millimeters, so I don't have any 22. Otherwise, I would have put the black one with the light gray stitching, would work perfectly and tone down a bit more the visuals on this watch. Now, you're going to tell me, if you want a single pass, normally with any NATO, there is a trick to do it. So the NATO, instead of passing through the buckle here and have the watch there and then closing down like this, you can, and there's a few videos about it on YouTube, you can put the watch somewhere here, a bit lower, put the watch on, then the finger here being my wrist, you can normally thread through this and then through the buckle. The only problem is that unlike all NATOs that I have, this side here, which normally is shorter than this side, longer than this side, is too short here, and it just doesn't work. I tried every way last night, and I couldn't make it fit. There was always a little bulb here. So yeah, too bad. Actually, it doesn't really push the watch too much when you wear it the traditional way. And I wear it again with it, but I want to try a few other things. Today I was wearing a brown shoes, brown belt, so I figured let's use my cool brown strap. And if you do love it, that's from the Chrono Keeper, Chrono Keeper brand from Mr. Chrono here in Hong Kong, available in Paris as well, or online, Mr. Chrono. I don't have any affiliation, but I do like them, and I do like those, and I will get a black one if I can for this watch. So yeah, is it worth the money? But I think, yeah, I've spoken enough about the reason why I like the watch, why I enjoy having a 50 Fathom shaped watch at an affordable price that's automatic, that to me is the best Swatch made, that comes with cool funky colors. It works well, and I think they've put an enormous amount of attention into it. And it's something that's different from anything in the market, right? You always say, yeah, but for the same price you get something else. Well, if you prefer something else, then get something else, right? I wanted to get this because this is the only one like this, right? There's no competition to it. So I want to say to the designers of these at Swatch, chapeau bas, well done, guys. It's all the little details are lovely. You've nailed the bezel, which was probably the hardest thing to get right. I don't know if it's that right on all those PDs. It almost looks like a little decal on them. It's not as luxurious looking at this, and yeah, I didn't hesitate to buy it when I found it available. I didn't even the crystal is not it's not sapphire. I suppose it's probably some polymer, plastic, or whatever. But it's cool. It gets that vintage look, which is after all the whole shtick of the Blancpain 50 Fathoms to this day. So that's those are my reflections. Really enjoying that Lume. Let me turn off the big lights, and very fun watch. I would not hesitate if I was you. I know for some of you maybe the price point might be a bit high, and so you might hesitate between this and a Seiko, and it's a tough one. I guess the Seiko might be more durable in the very long term. And, you know, an SKX at the same price is it's impossible to beat, but it will be a much heavier watch, and yeah, this is a bit more groovy, I would say, but it's been a lot of fun for the first day that I've owned it, and definitely something that I'm gonna wear, even though I don't have any piece of green clothing, although I have green shoes and green shirts. None of them actually match with this particular green, but sometimes you gotta, the watch has to stand out, and I've noticed a few guys actually picking up on this watch, even walking in the street. They were wondering, hey, what is this strap, probably, and noticing this watch. It really gives you the 50 Fathoms effect on the wrist, and to me that's the win, because the 50 Fathoms itself, it's a wonderful watch, but as I've explained, I'm unlikely to ever purchase one, so it is great to be able to have this. And think of it what you will. I wish almost every brand did an affordable version of their watches, so people can get in on it, and maybe one day get the real thing. But to me, this is real as it gets, and a great idea from Swatch. So well done, guys at Swatch. And feel free to send me the next one you're gonna do to review. I'd love to see a black one. I'm sure that's gonna happen, and that's gonna be people are gonna queue if they do a black one with maybe some yellow accents. That's gonna be one. And finally, will I buy the other colors? Maybe I'll get a no date version. I think both the ones that are available right now are great. And I do like all 5 colors. So yeah, you never know. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye. And don't get angry at the video.